Assalamu alaikum everyone, Exhibition Cadet Sabir Shah for my channel Aviation Cadet 9936, which was my part number back in times. Today I will talk about a podcast show, or it's called Piers Morgan Uncensored. And by the way, at the end of the show, he says that I am the boss and I control.
Piers Morgan Uncensored is proudly independent. The only boss around here is me.
Of course, yes. Why I'm talking about that one? First thing, I totally criticized the panel selection. He brought on two clowns and one very respected ex diplomat and one podcaster from Pakistan. These two clowns were from India. One is Barkadat and the other one is Rambhir, whatever his name is. I even didn't see. He was wearing a three-piece suit, but he was acting like a joker, a clown, literally. And the other one was also, I mean, what the heck is that? But anyhow, the history of the show is that it is to create noise and, then give out 40, 50 minutes out to the audience of Piers Morgan. Let's talk about Piers Morgan first. Piers Morgan is, at the moment, is very idealized in India. And because he slammed the Pakistani panelists and talked about Osama bin Laden. Although, of course, Indians have to say that because their whole thing is based on making Pakistan look like a terrorist country. It's up to them, whatever perception they can make, if it is viewed in all around the world, where there are 1.5 billion Indian donkeys who actually believe in the kind of shit their media throws. So we can't say anything about that. Yes, keep it posted like this. That apart from this 1.5 billion people in India, there's a huge population of human beings who also see that as a entirely different scenario. So Pakistan has been out of FATF. We were under sanctions because we were supporting some kinds of wars since 1977 onwards in the interest of West. And for that, of course, they had to train mujahideens. And of course, all the setback or all the fallback of that kind of training, Pakistan is still to the day suffering with more than 80,000 deaths in the country of the civilians, plus 10,000 armed forces, and billions of dollars in terms of property loss. So we have been the victim of terrorism since then. Mr. Piers Morgan, his views about Modi and his views about the Gujarat incident are very clear throughout his shows. He started from The Sun, the tabloid, and all the way he became now he's hosting this show, Piers Morgan Uncensored. So his views about Modi are very clear, pretty much clear, and he has himself called him a terrorist. So let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Piers Morgan's role in this as a mediator. I think it was totally biased, and it was not, because he wanted to gather more of the Indian viewership, which he actually got. So, because Pakistan is 250 million people, and India is 1.5 billion people, so viewership is more attracted towards India. India is a market for YouTube. So even my previous channel, which was banned by YouTube because of the Indian administration present over there, totally accused them. And they gave my channel copy strikes, and on my live streams, by the way, and terminated my channel with 158,000 subscribers and 149 million views in the last year only. But anyhow, I can create another channel again and go to Instagram or go to other platforms. The option is available on me. YouTube is also one of the good platforms until it doesn't get biased. So Piers Morgan, whatever he said, was biased and just to get the Indian viewership, which he successfully got. So again, I said that Indian media followers, they're donkeys. They have no sense of understanding because you see, recently in the conflict with India and Pakistan, their media reported that Karachi has been captured, Islamabad has been captured, PM House has been destroyed, and the seaport located in Lahore, which is in the center of Pakistan, which is not even close. There's a little stream flowing, we call it the Nehr, that it cannot have a ship. And they reported they destroyed that one. In Faisalabad, the seaport in Faisalabad, again, that's in the center of the Pakistan, very far away from the coastal areas. But there was a seaport there too, and they destroyed. And Mr. Asim Husni's family escaped away. This is Indian media. That they did. And the next day, actually, there were many donkeys, Indian donkeys, who came on my Twitter post and then actually were telling me that, oh, Pakistan is gone. I was like, oh, really? But bringing those two clowns and putting them in front of Hina Rabbani Kar, who has been on Mehdi Hassan show, very prominent, previously was from Al Jazeera, but later on he has his own now outlet. And she had been representing Pakistan as a diplomat. She is a well-educated woman, a woman of, you could see her way of talking and everything. And she wanted to move forward, but these two idiots, two jokers, two clowns, they were like. And Piers Morgan, he when saw that thing happening, so he actually put a fuel on the fire and then started talking about Osama bin Laden. So I was out from there, Osama bin Laden. Allegedly, he was killed in Pakistan. Okay. And it's the biggest intelligence failure for Pakistan to not to find him living right next door. Now it's allegedly. I will talk about that later. What about 7/7 bombings in England, in London, 2005, July 7th? Was it the success of British intelligence? How would you not know that people who were raised, Osama bin Laden was allegedly in Pakistan for 5 or 6 years. Your kids, three of them and one of their owner, were raised in Britain, were grown up in Britain, they took the education in Britain, and whatever they did was happening right under your intelligence nose, and yet you couldn't do it. What would you call that? Intelligence failure or not? Then in 2011, after once Osama bin Laden was killed, you asked Tony Blair to come and talk about the situation. Tony Blair was the one, the Gulf War. He came and apologized in public, saying that we were wrong. The whole Gulf attack in his time duration, he publicly apologized that they had the wrong intel of weapons of mass destructions. But you killed 500,000 people in Iraq. Who's going to be responsible for that? And that's the intelligence failure of your countries. And you're going to talk about Pakistan, that it was an intelligence failure. The presence of Osama bin Laden in Abbottabad is still to the day questionable. I think you have invited Piers Morgan, you have invited Mr. Moore, Michael Moore, to your same podcast once after Osama bin Laden's alleged death in 2010. What did he say to you? The thing, he has been a huge critic of the whole Gulf War and everything. And in 911, he has lived his life to prove that that was an inside job instead of an outside job done by Osama bin Laden. So you invited him, and the script is already of that podcast. It's in the description link below because that's too long. And Eventually, in the end, the punchline which he said to you, that America has lost its soul today, that you are convicting a person without any trials, and that's not America. So anyone supporting these illegal acts of without sending someone to trial and being a jury, being a judge, and being an executioner, whatever would happen in the future, you people would be responsible for that. What would happen in the future? I will come to that in the end of the video. So right now, the US is the pioneer of being a jury, judge, and executioner itself when they attacked Iraq, when they attacked Afghanistan. Ms. Hina Rabbani-Kar clearly mentioned Article 45 and Article 51 of the UN resolutions. Article 45 says clearly that the boundaries assigned by the UN, are not supposed to be violated at any cost until there's a UN resolution that allows you to do that. Who was the pioneer of that one? This was the Great Britain and the US. You guys did it in Iraq and in Afghanistan the first time. So India, this miniature country, I would say, because 700 million people do not have places to go to the toilet. They're going to be the world's third largest economy. If you check the Ambani brothers, you would see that how much money do they hold. So it's in the hand of a few rich people, the whole economy, and the rest of the country is in deep shit. They eat cow's dung. They take a bath with that. They drink cow's urine. And you, living in England, is going to tell us that India is the third biggest economy. Yes, economy. But who has the money? The rich. That's it. So the class difference in India is huge. There are untouchables in India who can't even serve in military, can't even serve as a public servant. They're not supposed to go to school with other three castes. So in Pakistan, we also have the similar problem, but not on that level which India is facing. India has learned from the US and the UK and the NATO and the ISAF, that was in Afghanistan, 43 countries. Back in Iraq, there were 33 allies. In Afghanistan, 43. Before that, the 8 allies known as NATO. And they have done these illegal, breaking all the UN resolutions and entering into other countries' sovereign areas and bombing them, carpet bombing them. Israel does the same in Palestine as well. And they also tried to do that in Syria. And they also did that in Iran. So once the precedent has been set, of course, India is going to follow because they think that they are the superpower in this region. Let put China on another side, okay? Let's say, but the remaining region, you even couldn't beat Pakistan. Pakistan has your 46% of Atut Ang Kashmir, and we took it in 1948. So it has been 77 years, and India could not take that little part away from Pakistan, which they believe is their Atut Ang. I mean, this is the Akhand Bharat area. It has been 77 years, and you Indians could not take that from us. Well, you did 1971 through Mukti Bani. You separated East Pakistan, but that East Pakistan is not part of India, and that's part of Bengal, and it is a new country, Bangladesh. And recently you have seen what Bangladesh is telling you people. The regime change in Bangladesh, Mujibur Rahman's daughter, she is harbored and raised in India. So Agartala conspiracy, it's not conspiracy, it's the truth, because Miss Indira Gandhi, she already said that when the fall of Dhaka happened, she said that today I put the two-nation theory in the Arabian Sea. So 1971, you did harm Pakistan, but that was in terms of what you call not the way we took Kashmir from you. We have 46% of Kashmir, and you have 0% of Bangladesh. Bangladesh is another country, so it's neither our win nor our loss. But Kashmir is our 46% win. So come and get it. India thought that the way Israel attacks Palestinians, the way they attack Syrians with zero Air Force, self defense, army, and then the way Americans and British and along with their allies attacked Iraq and Afghanistan, who do not have these kind of technical, these kind of advanced machinery to defend them. India also thought the same way and said, "Oh, we're going to go in and surgical strikes and do that into Pakistan." So what happened? Everyone knows now. Not only in 2019, but let's not talk about the achievements in 1965, 1971, 1999, 2019. Let's talk about 2025 only. Okay, you guys again being self-jury, self-judge, and self-executioner did this inside job Pahalgam attack where 5 of the people were killed. There were no 26 people. There were only 5 people who got killed. It's a local dispute where these Indian Army personnel tried to grope the women over there, and the crowd retaliated, and hence the fire opened. And Indians burnt all the evidence of the crime scene. They literally dug the crime scene up and burnt it. And then accused Pakistan the first way, and then thinking that they are like the Israelis or again, Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, he said very clearly on a question being asked to him that, well, how do you see the Israeli Prime Minister and Indian Prime Minister? What's the difference? And he said he's the copy, the Timo version, a poor copy of Netanyahu.
Mr. Modi is sort of the Timu version of Netanyahu. Okay?
Which is a full-fledged disgrace to, I mean, if you didn't know your opposition, your own army chief, the CDS, the chief of defense staff, admitted.
I can say is on 7th and the initial stages, there were losses, but the numbers, and that's not important.
That you had tactical failures. You had jets down. Then you could not fly for 2 days, and then you planned the attack again on May 10th, and you did it with all your aircrafts airborne. Sorry, sir, wrong information. Please don't lie to your people. None of the aircrafts took part in May 10th attack on Nur Khan base and Sargodha base. They were your ground to ground systems that did, because all your Rafales at the moment are 300 kilometers behind your boundary line, because you don't know what PL-15 is capable of. You have seen it kill from 200 kilometers, and you have no idea, because you were thinking it's 140 kilometers, so if our planes stay behind 140 kilometers, we would be safe. No. You don't know about Pakistan Air Force. It's not Palestinian Air Force. They don't have it. It's not Syrian Air Force. It's not Iranian Air Force. It's not Afghanistani Air Force. By the way, they do have it in Air Force. It's Pakistan. So, Mr. Piers Morgan, you are the one who, without any evidence of that was Osama bin Laden killed in Pakistan, you tried to glorify it for a few views, which you got, obviously. Everyone is searching. Even I searched for the podcast. I came to know about this podcast yesterday when Shahzad Gayas, a very educated man from Pakistan, when he joined a comedy show, Hasna Bana Hai, And then he mentioned about that one, and I was curious. I said, "Well, I need to see what happened there," because he was talking about this the clown one, Barkha Dutt, and clown two, Randhir, blah blah blah. And then I searched, and last night I watched it, and I was like, "What? Hina Rabani car with these two clowns? That's..." And Gayas was cut many times. He was not given the proper time, Shehzad Gayas, and I think he would not join these kind of even in the show, he said that he didn't want to join that because he doesn't want to do. He calls his own guests. He doesn't need to, appear on these kind of platforms where there's only noise to be created, and then they pick out a few plants from that and then start making it public. You go to Google and you search Piers Morgan, Osama bin Laden, and you will find a list. All the Indian channels are promoting that one. So job well done, Piers Morgan. You did a great job, but it was not unbiased. It was totally biased just to get a few views, clickbait. But again, Miss Hina Ramani Kar defended very well. Not defended, she actually said very well. But the other two clowns, these clowns he was wearing a suit. Come on, give some respect to the suit you're wearing. And and then he's laughing. The miscommunication. Man, I mean, these kind of clowns are representing with the pictures, and he's bringing up the pictures. Shehzad Gayas didn't know about anything, so he mentioned very clearly. So let's go to the point. Was Osama bin Laden killed in Pakistan or not? Shehzad Gayas, he mentioned very clearly that there are 4,500 documents by the US government, which are not confidential anymore, clearly stating that Pakistan didn't know about the Pakistani intelligence. Actually, Osama bin Laden was hiding from Pakistani intelligence. So let's keep that aside. Let's say another report, which was mentioned in Piers Morgan's own show when Osama bin Laden died in a kidney failure in a hospital near borders of Pakistan, where the American helicopters took him in, and he died there. And Mr. Piers Morgan has its own show mentioning the death of Osama bin Laden in 2006 or 4. So, Mr. Piers Morgan, the thing you have reported yourself, so should I believe in that one, or now your new story of 2010 or 2011, when he resurrected, I think, after Jesus Christ, according to Christians' belief, the resurrection happened within 3 days. And Osama bin Laden's resurrection should be bigger than Jesus Christ, because that happened after 6 years, and he got risen from the dead, and then found in Abbottabad and killed. So, contradiction in your own version of Osama bin Laden's death. I would love to quote the Indian spy master, the previous one, Mr. Dolat, and the Pakistani spy master, Mr. Durrani, their book Spy Chronicles, and The Illusion of Peace. And in that book, they have clearly mentioned that Osama bin Laden was handed over to the US intelligence prior, long before the the SEAL 6 operation. And these are two. One is the Indian spy master, and one is the Pakistani spy master. And now the level is of the intelligence bureau. So any rejection of their proposal, of their allegations, of their accusation, should be on the same level. It's not like, just like Piers Morgan, you brought Hina Rabani Kar, a diplomat, and then you brought two idiots. There are 3 idiots in the movie, but these are 2 idiots, 2 clowns, and you let them sit together. This is not normal. But anyhow, she even said, "Why have you brought these journalists who just a few days ago have captured Karachi, Islamabad, Faisalabad seaports. And you're bringing them up to me. But anyhow, so no one has ever denied the accusations they made that the money was delivered into, he even gave the account number. So you can go and read the book and bring up a US or British intelligence officer who's going to refute the claims. And again, I mean, it doesn't make any sense that no one has seen the body. Just like in Pahalgam, you haven't seen the body of 26 people. And same is the case with Osama bin Laden. We haven't seen his body. So no, even in your own country's law, if the body of a dead person is not killed person or murdered person is not found, you cannot charge the accused for first degree charge. And yet, you people believe in Osama bin Laden's alleged conviction in Pakistan, and you believe that something happened in Pahalgam. And on the basis of that, again, that's also an illegal act if America did, but Pakistan did not respond. The Pakistan Air Force did not respond. Why? That supports, by the way, Senator Kerry in the same program with Tony Blair, he clearly told you that Pakistani intentions to get Osama bin Laden are the same as the US intentions. So if you say that it's the Pakistani intelligence failure, well, I've given two examples previously, so the third example is it's the intelligence failure of all the superpowers, including the US, including the Great Britain, which is not the Great Britain anymore, it's the UK now, MI6 or MI5. These two intelligence, let's include the European countries, so France and Germany too. Everyone was looking for Osama bin Laden, and you could not know that he was sitting right next to a Pakistani military base. So isn't that your failure too? Because you are the ones who were looking for it. Let's say for Pakistanis, let's say we would protect him. Like the way Barkadat was protecting Moody, who she was the biggest critic when he killed people in Gujarat. But today she was speaking for him because now it's the matter of two countries. So if you put in that scenario, if Pakistan allegedly harbored Osama bin Laden, he did not kill, let's say, he didn't do 911, which is an inside job by Michael Moore, very clearly, but he's allegedly accused of committing 911. So he's your enemy. And that's why you guys attacked Afghanistan and you were part of that. Your country was part of those forces too. So if you guys did that on the basis of these allegations and accusations, then you should be looking for him. It was your failure that you could not find him since 1995. Yeah, when the Oklahoma bombing, no, WC bombing the first time, but the bomb exploded in the main hall, the lobby. So you couldn't even protect your people from 7/7 bombing. You couldn't catch this, and then yet you say, "Oh, it is the biggest failure on Pakistani intelligence. Oh, it's the biggest failure on Pakistani intelligence that they could not see the person right under the nose." Trust me, bro. Even if Pakistan knew it, which we think that no, we didn't know, and Shahzad Ghayass was very great in at least in accepting that probably we missed it. Probably it is the intelligence failure. Yes, it is. We accept that. But it's your intelligence failure too. People who have gone to the moon, going to the Mars, with so many satellites, like 90% of satellites belong to you, and you can detect, you are going into the center of the earth and you're going into the beyond places of the space, and yet you couldn't find a 7'6" tall Osama bin Laden. Your failure, more than ours, because you were looking for him and you have been celebrating his death, second death, by the way. The first death you celebrated too in 2004, kidney failure, and second death in 2010, October 2nd, whatever the date was, the infamous thing. So Bottom line, Pakistan is not a piece of cake. So anytime Indians thinking that they are the US, they are the ISAF, they are the NATO forces, and they would come and attack us, just like Modi said, और हम पर ही अटैक कर दिया.
पाकिस्तान ने भारत पर ही हमला करना शुरू कर दिया और मैं सब्जी लेने गया सब्जी वाले ने मुझसे ही पैसे लेने शुरू कर दिए.
That's very funny. He would keep on saying that thing. We are a nuclear state country, and once you will get us back to the wall, to the corner, we will use all our options. And this area, 1/5 of the world, all the devastation would be on people like Piers Morgan, glorifying the illegal act of an irresponsible nuclear state, India, into the sovereign boundaries of a responsible state, Pakistan. The repercussions are very big, consequences are really high. Stop these idiots. Get this Modi out of this chair and put him in the prison where he belongs for killing on the religious basis those Muslims in Gujarat, those Christians all over India, and all these Dalits, these untouchables, before something big happens. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.